perfect storm. It's like a goddamn George Clooney movie, The Perfect Storm. Like, this couldn't be any worse than it is right now. And now we're seeing the effects. People are just fucking walking out. Oh, you sent me the Dave Ramsey thing. Is pharmacy school still worth it? I watched that, and I had a couple of things I wanted to say about that. Was he unaware? He acted like he was totally unaware that retail sucks. Like, how old is that guy? He's got to be on prescriptions. Does he not take any prescriptions?
I mean, who knows? He's probably forced to get mail order. He's or he goes through the drive-thru. You know, maybe someone else picks it up. But that's what I've always said. Like, I always wonder, will all this press actually make a difference? Because sometimes I feel like it preaches to the choir, because pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, when we see these articles, we share and like, yeah, yay, more press. But like, I just wonder if the average person, when they see this, they're just like, yeah, whatever. What else is going on? Oh, bombing in Ukraine, or oh, the sports. Like, does it even resonate with them about this understaffing?
And they have no sympathy for us. We've already discussed how mean the average person is, but anyone with a modicum of observability can see when they go to the pharmacy, oh my God, these guys are getting their asses kicked. Like, how can you not see how crazy it is back there? And you're still going to be staring at me through the window and demanding and pissed off. Like, do you not see that I'm doing the best I can? I'm not sitting here goofing off like the DMV. You know, it's like, we're actually working hard back here. You go to the DMV and you're like, Jesus, there was a Zootopia Pixar movie making fun of the DMV because they had sloths working as the staff. Remember that? Did you ever see that? I know you have young kids. Oh, it's so fucking funny. The sloth is moving so slow, and they're actually poking fun at the DMV because, am I saying that right? Department of Motor Vehicles. Yeah, because there's no incentive to work hard. But when you go to your average retail pharmacy, everyone's running around like a rooster with their head cut off. Can you not see we're doing all that we can, and you're still going to be an impatient prick? I don't understand that.
We need security guards at the DMV, because one time I had to wait 2 hours and I didn't hear one person complain. I said, now, if this was a retail pharmacy waiting area, people would be cursing. They'd be threatening to hop over the counter. And so we need a security guard with a gun.
We're doctors. We have doctorates. Our staff is trained. They have to be certified. Like, why are you treating us like shit? I don't understand. And the other thing in that Dave Ramsey video, like, no one mentions that there's other fields besides retail in pharmacy. Like, he was trying to tell the guy, well, if it sucks, don't go into it. Well, you don't have to do retail. There's other fields in pharmacy. They all kind of suck, but nothing's even comes close to sucking as much as retail does. And then I love how it ended. His solution was spend $20 or $30 on our website for some sort of evaluation, which will ostensibly help you. And like, oh, I love how he threw that in there at the last second to make a buck. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught it. I thought it was
funny.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of people don't like David Ramsey, so it's like they like get the message, but they're always like, yeah, but he's an asshole.
Speaking of assholes, I guess pharmacy organizations are updating the oath of a pharmacist. Remember when we had to do the oath of a pharmacist? And now it says something about approved updates to the oath incorporate things like contemporary language, and we have to address diversity. And there's that word again, equity, inclusion, anti-racism. Again, more virtue signaling. Even NASA did this. NASA, their job is to go into space and send things into outer space. Here's a quote. We're committed to supporting the right of every employee at NASA to be addressed by their preferred names and pronouns. Click here to read a statement from our Office of Diversity's Equal Opportunity in regards to a recent gender pronouns IT project. Like, this is NASA. What are you guys doing? Our head is so far up our ass. I can't believe that we're virtue signaling at NASA now. Am I being an asshole, or is this kind of kooky?
No, it's I don't know. Everybody is so sensitive nowadays, especially with comedy. You have to include everybody. Everybody gets a participation trophy. You can't offend anybody. I feel like so many times when I talk to people, I stutter because I'm trying to figure out
what I'm allowed to say.
Yeah.
Well, CME Outfitters, I think that's a continuing education thing. They have something on their website, quote, "Do you want to eliminate racial disparities in healthcare and improve outcomes for patients of color? The first step to achieving health equity," there it is again, "is addressing structural racism, interpersonal and unconscious bias, blah, blah, blah." First of all, when you're unconscious, you're not doing anything. It should say subconscious bias, subconscious. When you're unconscious, you're sleeping. So that didn't make any sense, but all this talk about justice and freedom from bias and favoritism, I don't know. I just, as someone who was born in the early 70s, I see how the culture has changed, and this just seems so, I guess their intentions are good, but it just comes across as so patronizing. I think that's the word I'm looking for. This is, I don't know who this appeals to other than millennials and Gen Zers, young people, you know, who think they're heroes for putting a black square on their Instagram account. You know what I'm talking about? I know I sound like a fucking asshole.
No,
I sound like Bill Burr, who I love, by the way.
we need more Bill Burr. Hopefully, when
Yeah.
this pandemic's over, I feel like now that like face mask mandates are being removed, we're going to start to see a lot more of the big comedians come back out. I know Chris Rock and Kevin Hart are doing a tour together.
That's interesting because I know a lot of comedians, including Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, some other guys, said they don't even do college campuses anymore because everybody's so sensitive. You can't even tell a joke because everybody is righteously indignant that you said something. So they don't even go to college campuses anymore because everyone's such a hero. They get offended by every little thing. Speaking of Bill Burr and stand-up comedy, how is the stand-up gig that you're doing going lately?
It's okay. I've kind of removed myself from it because last time I did a comedy show, you know, like for the comics that Monday was like, "Hey, I tested positive for COVID. Sorry, just letting everybody know." So I just kind of stopped doing it for a little bit. But I'll probably get started again. But it just seemed like everybody was getting COVID. A lot of the comics, you know, it's like 3 of them living in one apartment anyway, and they're doing show after show after show at the dive bars and stuff like that. So I was like, let me just stay away. But now I think I'm about to get back out here on the road.
All right, cool. Keep us posted on how that's going. I like watching your YouTube videos when you, how do you get the video from the comedy clubs so that you can put, do they send it to you so that you can post it on your own YouTube channel?
Sometimes I slide the video guy $25. Sometimes I record it myself. So it kind of just depends.
That's cool. And one other thing I wanted to do before we go, I wanted to give a shout out to a guy that follows me on Twitter. He's known as the RX rated Farm D. So I just want to give a shout out to you, sir. I'm going to send him a link when you post this so he can listen to it and hear. I love this guy. The RX rated Farm D on Twitter is our people. He's one of our people. I love him. So I wanted to pay some respect to that dude. You're not on Twitter, but you're on Instagram. Is that right? Or
I'm on Twitter, but I haven't used it in a while because it's just so many things between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's like it's hard to manage it all, and I feel like more people get in trouble for what they say on Twitter than anything. So it's like so and so said this tweet, and they go, or you ever see the draft? They'll draft a player, and they'll be like, 8 years ago he made this racist comment on Twitter. You're like, damn, they keep that information that long. So Twitter, I just stay away from it. It seems like you get more in trouble when you say something on Twitter than any other platform.
I love how Twitter has, like Putin has an account on Twitter, and you got these mullahs in these Middle Eastern countries that, throw gays off of rooftops and they treat women like shit. They still got their Twitter account. Like the most deplorable people across the globe still have their Twitter account. Who doesn't have a Twitter account anymore? Trump. Like, you guys hate Trump, but all these other assholes can have a Twitter account that are preaching death to America. And
doesn't Vladimir Putin still have his Twitter account?
Yeah, exactly. he's invading Ukraine right now. Like he's starting World War III, but he still has his Twitter account. I love that too. All the fear of Trump's going to start World War III. All the wokesters are like, oh, Trump's, now they're all for Ukraine fighting and supporting Ukraine against Russia. And I actually don't know what to make of that conflict. A lot of people are on Ukraine's side, and I don't trust those people. So now I'm thinking, well, is Russia as bad as they're saying? Because all the people I hate are supporting Ukraine. So I'm second guessing myself, because at first I'm like, oh yeah, Ukraine, gotta back those guys. They're being invaded. But all the wrong people are supporting them. So I'm sort of skeptical. Does that make me an asshole too?
I think once Russia was just attacking like Ukrainian military personnel, people were kind of like, okay, but then they just bombed that maternity ward. So I think now more people are on the Ukrainian side, because now they're just going after like women and children.
I don't know his name, but the president, I don't even know if that's the right term, the president of Ukraine.
I wouldn't even try to pronounce it.
He used to be a comedian. I think he did stand-up or something. And there's a video of him. He did like a music video. It looked like something out of a homoerotic Right Said Fred type thing. You remember the I'm too sexy for my car? It looked like something like that. Like it was the weirdest, most bizarre European goofy looking thing. I can't believe he's the leader of a country now. I don't know, but I don't want to judge, but it's this dude, there's something off about him. He's got a multi-million-dollar mansion in Florida somewhere. I respect him because he's staying in his country. He's fighting for his people. But there's something odd going on here that I don't think any of us know the whole picture. So I'm reserving judgment. I'm not picking sides yet. I'm just going to see what happens. It would be nice if we could start drilling for oil in our country and not relying on Russia. I love how Biden is going to buy oil from Venezuela or something, who's allies with Russia. So for all we know, Venezuela is going to buy oil from Russia and then sell it to us, which is just like us buying it from Russia anyways. None of this shit makes any sense. All I can say, folks, is do your homework, because the mainstream media is totally lying. They don't tell us what's actually going on. I don't want to get into politics, but trust me.
Did you see that comedy bit where it was like, before, if you put like $30 in your car or the gas, you had time to like go in your glove compartment, you had time to clean off your windows, you had time to maybe run and get a cup of coffee for the gas click. But now, because gas is so high, as soon as you put it in, it just goes click in like 15 seconds.
No.
I gotta send it to you. It's funny.
Yeah, that's my other advice for everybody. Fill up your gas tanks right now, folks, because it's going to keep going up.
That's what that was. The reporter asked Biden, and Biden's like, "It's going to go up." He said, "Okay, so what do you?" And he goes, "So what are you going to do about it?" Nothing I can do about it.
It's Russia's. It's Putin's fault. Of course, as soon as the price starts to go down, guess who's going to take credit? Biden. Like this, I'm so tired of the politics. I'm so tired of the games and the propaganda and the BS. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't want to get on a high horse. I'll stop there. I know a lot of wokesters get pissed off if I say too much, but this is the RX Rated podcast, folks. We say it like it is here. So before we go, anything else you wanted to touch on?
Not for this episode. We have other topics to spread it out, just in case. You never know with pharmacy. Some weeks there's a whole lot to talk about, and other weeks not much happens. So maybe next episode we'll talk about AMA's response to the Biden's test to treat.
All right, folks, with that said, we bid you adieu. And like always, just remember, every prescription you fill is one more closer to retirement.
Unless you walk out.
Yeah. All right. Adios, folks.